Welcome to Scene 4, Act 5 of Dreams Denied. As we come to an end, we actually have to start with the synopsis of this scene, then go to character and characterization, thematic concerns, and finally work on stylistic devices. This is a short scene that covers 1.5 a page, so we'll quickly run through it as we conclude. So scholars and students, we begin with the synopsis. So, of course, the setting is the governor's office, and there is a large crowd of citizens swinging placards and demanding that they no longer want corrupt leaders. Of course, Lipuka addresses everybody once the press is set, and we realize that Lipuka is telling them that citizens were firm, and that's how they were able to handle corruption and bad governance that was being engineered by Governor Mwitu alongside his allies, who is Bishop Papa Kayai and the allies who have just been arrested. Of course, you remember the two, the lady and Nduki. We have Nduki and Kimbu, the lady who is Nduki and the man Kimbu. So of course we also Mwanga. Mwanga is there telling the people that because of civic education, they were able to come to terms with truth and celebrate the downfall of these people who have been deceiving them. Lipuka as well tells them, but now that they are proceeding with this, they are not yet done. They need to actually do away with the corruption completely by launching a petition to dissolve the county government because it has been a sleeping giant generally. Lipuka says that based on the law, the petition to the president will allow suspension of county government based on Article 192 1B of the Constitution. Now, once the action is taken, then the petition can support signing of signatures among citizens, and once they vote all the leaders out, now they can actually have re-elections. The crowd are cheering and they are ready to sign because they indicate through new leadership they can actually feel free. Now let's quickly talk about character and characterization. The first character here is Governor Mwitu alongside Bishop Papa Kayai and Nduki Kimbu. They are corrupt. You can see clearly Lipuka saying they fought against corruption. They were also careless. They didn't care about the bad governance that was going on. We can also see that from page 114, Lipuka indicates that they were corrupt by saying, we cannot allow another corrupt regime to come on. They were deceptive. Mwanga says, you refuse to be deceived and focused on truth. Then they were treacherous. You again see Mwanga saying, you celebrate the downfall of those who betrayed you. Now, let's turn to Lipuka. Lipuka is outspoken, concerned, defensive, and that's what we can see on page 113. He addresses the citizens and tells them that they have a new era free from corruption and bad governance. That actually the cronies alongside Mwitu have been arrested, justice has been observed. We also see Ogolla who is here to be concerned. Ogolla is concerned because he says, for 3 years we have suffered under heartless leadership. He is very frank and candid, telling us about the poor leadership. He says services collapsed, the health system failed, children lacked proper food, and now enough was enough. We can also see that out of this, whatever Ogolla says, we realize that Bishop Papa, Governor Mwitu, Nduki, Kimbu, Kayai, they were very callous or cruel or brutal because they let hospitals collapse, services also end. Children ended up lacking food and suffered, and they didn't care. Now we realize that Mwanga also is very agile. He was able to educate citizens through civic education and focus on truth. Yeah, he was also very informed. That's why he was able to use civic education on citizens. Lipuka says, but our work is not done. We cannot allow another corrupt regime. So it's very strategic and focused, making sure that the next leadership is not going to be a defranchised one. Lipuka is very much informed, talking about the Constitution, Article 192(1)b, and how it demands for petition so that it can support signatures from at least more than 10% of registered voters in the county to let this government be rendered useless so that they can have new elections, fresh elections. Ogolla is also concerned and informed. He says once the petition reaches the president, they'll demand for fresh elections to bring new leaders. Also strategic and firm. He says no more thieves in power. Mwanga says there is power of the people. Let's show them we have learned our lesson. No more corruption, no more empty promises. Also firm. Now when we come to stylistic devices, we have vivid description. At the beginning, you can see a very clear, vivid description. Outside the governor's office, a large crowd of county residents gathers, waving placards and cheering. The atmosphere is electric with celebration. Some residents dance, others chant slogans against corruption. The media has set up cameras as Lipuka, Ogolla, and Mwanga step forward to address the people. So that is vivid description. We can also see irony. It's very ironical that a leader is chosen and decides to practice corruption, bad governance, to allow services to collapse, health systems to fail, and even children to lack proper food and education due to corruption. It is as well ironical to have leaders betraying their people through deception and not allowing truth. It is quite, as we can see here, we actually recognize onomatopoeia, chanting, cheering, cheers. We see also, I thought I saw another word here, cheering, chant, slogans, yeah, cheers. So we have onomatopoeia. Rush, it's also onomatopoeia. Now we actually see, I think through the names we have been talking about these names that are allegorical. Mwanga, light. Lipuka, eruption. Ogolla. You see, those names are suggestive of what the new era we have. Governor Mwitu, which means a fake leader. Nduki, you know that chameleon, and all that. Akimbu, chameleon, yeah. I thought I forgot about thematic concerns. We need to talk about betrayal. The betrayal the leaders have conducted on the people. We have deception. Mwanga says on page 114, there has been deception from the former leaders. There was corruption. We have been told on page 114 that they will not allow another corrupt leadership. Even on page 113, we are told they are going to stand firm against corruption. Then bad governance. We see here, or poor leadership. We stood firm against bad governance and corruption. Again, corruption. Because of corrupt leaders. Then we can see ignorance and negligence. Leaders actually led for 3 years, and now citizens began to suffer. Services collapsed, health systems failed, children lacked proper food. We can also see what we call change. For now, citizens want to sign a petition so that they can have re-election and pick better leaders. And now this time round, they have declared they don't want thieves in power. They don't want corruption. They don't want empty promises. We have civic education, whereby we see from page 113 that through civic education, citizens knew the truth and the deception ended. Justice. We realized that after the arrest of Governor Mwitu and his cronies, the Deputy Governor, Bishop Papa, and the other two, at least here, we are seeing some sort of justice being considered. And once the constitution is pursued and petition are held, that will be another form of justice. So guys, that is the end of this part. We can call it a scene, and then we remain with one scene to come to an end. I'm really appreciative. I can see every day you are really coming handy to subscribe to the channel. Otherwise, bye bye, good night, good day, and have a nice moment.